of the tapes of what we preached on concerning the spirit of liberation up to this point. I believe they said there's about 8 videotapes. I did not even know that we went into that many meetings. Amen. But there's about 8 lessons on this document. We already understand what media expects of black men. Amen. We already understand, amen, how we are looked at. Sting of independence from them, and thereby create a dependency state so that we may be able to get from them useful production for our business and our pleasure. Let me tell you something. In your natural state, you will take care of your people. In your natural state, you will begin to become independent. In your natural state, you won't accept welfare. In your natural state, you would get insurance and you wouldn't leave your loved ones penniless. In your natural state, you'll think generationally. But in your slave state, you won't get insurance. In your slave state, you won't own anything. In your slave state, you'll sleep with them, but you won't marry them. In your slave state, you don't think about offspring, you think about the immediate future. In your slave state, you make no plans for the future. You don't own anything. So I had to begin to realize that my people was destroyed for what? A lack of knowledge. You'll have some people that have a problem just paying $10 for the book. You have other people that will have problems just because they're mad at you just because you're talking to them about ownership. What's wrong with me renting? I got a nice apartment in the project. I only pay $190 a month. Why you want to mess with me, preacher? Amen. I'm in a rent control situation. I see this is God's hand, God's blessing. Darling, you're a slave. You don't own anything. Where is the compensation that's going to be given to your offsprings? How are you going to empower future generations? Instant gratification is designed for what? Fools. If you're always looking for the immediate result, you are a fool. Learn how to sow something. Even a farmer understands he's got to wait sometimes a couple of years before that seed begins to bring forth the kind of harvest he desires for it to bring forth. Amen. You know, Christmas trees can grow probably in about a year, but oak trees take almost a generation. But notice, the price of wood is, the price of oak is a lot more costly than the price of pine. Things that take longer to grow have lasting effects. Amen. Are you understanding the thinking? Amen. We got to think generationally. You will not experience the benefit of every harvest. There will be some harvest you'll leave behind in the earth that others will have to reap from. Amen. 32. Economic empowerment will what? Will lead you where? Lead you out of bondage. Economic empowerment. Now let me just say this, because I want to bring a balance. Economic empowerment will lead you out of bondage unless you are in a system of an insane government. You know, like Hitler. So now we need to ask the other question: could America stand it if the black men ever became rich? Or would we have an insane government taking you into concentration camps? You were created to what? Dominate. You were created to be in charge. You were created to be in control. The first man that God created was an African man, and God put him here, amen, and he made the first man in his own image, an African man, a dark man. So the first continent, the first home away from home, the first place that God stepped on after he stepped out of heaven was on the continent of Cush. Now when we understand that God stepped on the continent of Cush, now we can begin to understand, as one man put it, that Africa really is not our home but our throne. Say with me, Africa is not my home but my throne. The world is my home.